Right, so today I'm in the 5-door Golf R, and I'm going off this roundabout. I'm going to, it's about a 2-hour drive to the Cotswolds. The Cotswolds, it's a very English word, that, isn't it? I've never actually been there before. Apparently there's some amazing driving roads there, but the reason why I'm going there is because I'm going to a Fiat Chrysler Alfa Romeo press event. Bloody weather, bloody rain. This is kind of like the wrong car to drive in the rain, but it could be quite fun as well. So I'll sort of take you through the journeys of me going out in this car, because I have driven one before and it was very brief. I didn't, like I said before in the previous video, I didn't have high expectations or high feelings of it. It's not even the right word, but you know, I didn't have a high, what's the bloody word? Why do I do this all the time? I didn't have very high thoughts of it. Yeah, let's just use that as well. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to pretend, not even pretend, I'm going to give this car a second chance. So as I sit in this car, let me just grab the camera for there. 1 second. Flip that over, and then obviously you're upside down to get you up the right way. And as you sit in this car, you will see that it is a very, very attractive interior. I did mention in a previous video that I thought it was a little bit, I don't know, not tacky, I wouldn't say, I don't know, just not very good. But I must admit, second time round, I'm extremely impressed. So up here you've got this sort of green and white stitching. That's really nice. The finish of the dash is all nice and really nicely finished. Carbon fibre everywhere. This one has got the optional extra seats, which are amazing. It does come with like some standard looking, sort of very boring looking seats. If you're getting one of these cars, I highly recommend that you get these seats. On the back of these seats, they're fully carbon fibre. They're very narrow and thin. That is a very, very race-like seat, and it is built by Sparco, which is really cool. Key's just down here. I'll show you what the key looks like. Look, they've even given me a bottle of water. That's nice of them, isn't it? Yeah, the key, keyless entry, keyless go, engine start, stop button. Let's just give it a whirl, yeah? All very nice, yeah. Carbon fibre steering wheel just at the bottom here. We've got kind of a mix of materials. So we've got leather, plastic, carbon fibre, and then this sort of metally stuff. Oh, we've even got Alcantara at the top. Nice steering wheel, that. And like I say, just forgive me for my kind of naiveness. I am pretty clueless about this car. The one thing I do know, let me just click you back up here. The one thing that I do know, there's the volume button, sounds good, sounds bloody good, is that it's 510 bhp, it's a 2.9 litre V6 twin turbo engine, and it's rear wheel drive. And today it's raining, which isn't, like I say, it ain't ideal, but could be a good laugh, couldn't it? So what they've done, so it's an Alfa Romeo press event today, which like I said earlier, and what they've done is they've set me up a route on the sat nav. So I've got in, press the start button, there's a route already set up on the sat nav here, and it's a 45-minute route around the Cotswolds. Apparently some nice sort of driving roads on this route, so we're just going to let the sat nav lead the way, and we'll go and have some fun, yeah? Lots of windy roads round here. I've got it in D, which I assume is dynamic mode, yeah? The rain has almost stopped. The back end is just like really sketchy, as you can imagine. I do intend on driving it hard because, well, it's just a perfect opportunity to drive it hard. I keep seeing sort of windy road signs, and the thing is, it's just got to be done. Now got a lorry up ahead, which is just feel the acceleration for the last time before I catch up with it. But a bit annoying that I've got a lorry in front. But I did drive this car for a couple of miles there just before I switched this camera back on, and it's such a good car. Between the gears, you've got a little like a sort of like a DSG fart, but it's more of a bang than it is a fart.
In 700 yards, you will reach your fire point.
Hear that? Let's undo the back windows. Scare a cyclist. Do you hear it? So that's very nice. One thing, or the very first thing that massively stood out for me with this car when I first drove it, not this particular one, but this one as well as the last one I drove, is, and this is better than anything I've ever driven, is the way it steers. And I never ever comment on how a car steers, because if it feels alright, I'm happy, yeah? It's as simple as that. But this car, the response you get, like,
you have reached your fire point.
Sat nav is like co-driver for me today. This is brilliant. There's obviously another press car there. The response
800 yards at the roundabout, take the first exit.
you get from the steering, yeah, just them subtle little movements, it is responding perfectly to every movement. And it's really strange because as soon as you get in this car and drive it, you notice it straight away. I've driven down here in a Golf R today, which is quite a refined car, yeah?
First exit.
So going back to the interior, yeah, that's where we started with this car. It's beautiful in here. It's so bloody nice. The sat nav in the centre there looks really nice. In front of you, you've obviously got the dials, yeah? And to the left, you've got the rev counter. To the right, you've got the speedo. And then in the middle, you've got like a big digital display, which also gives you your sat nav. So you've got sort of dual screen sat nav, yeah? So from a spec point of view, this car does offer a hell of a lot. Options that this car has, I mentioned the seats earlier. It's also got the nicer wheels, which I mentioned before. I really like them wheels. They do come with a carbon ceramic brake option. I don't know how much money that is. I'm guessing, there you go, that's how much it is. A lot of money. This car doesn't have it, so this is kind of a real world spec'd car. In fact, this is probably the spec that I would personally go for if I was to get one. Colour choice, I wouldn't personally pick this colour off the shelf if I was going to buy a brand new car, but I think it suits the car perfectly well. And I love the fact that, I don't know if they all have all this carbon everywhere, but having carbon everywhere, obviously from like a petrol head point of view, massive petrol head, that's an appealing thing. We all love to see a bit of carbon, and there is absolutely loads of it in here.
In 400 yards at the roundabout, take the first exit.
Now I was kind of expecting the roads would be a bit better, as in not the weather. You're never in control of the weather. I don't really care that it's raining. I mean, it would have been ideal to put some power down, but you know what, it's putting power down okay anyway. But it's just like loads of cars on the roads. I just expected some nice windy country lanes. Let's see what's going on up here. Hopefully so the back end, as you can imagine, is really sketchy because it is raining again, and this is, like I say, it's a real drive car. But the way it delivers power, there is kind of a little bit of turbo lag. Let's get past this car. I have every intention, like I say, of driving like a hooligan today. This car's done 300 miles. No, yeah, 300 miles, and it's got 300 miles of fuel in it. So it's got just as much fuel in it as it has in mileage on the engine. So, but power delivery, yeah, it does lag a little bit, which is a little bit annoying. I think that is one of the things that put me off of it when I initially drove it. But let's face it, yeah, it's a 2.9 V6 twin turbo engine. If you wanted to reduce that lag and bring up, okay, sat nav is getting a little bit annoying.
In 700 yards.
Bring up the curve slightly in the centre section. You could easily do that with just a remat. And for me, oh, that's the back end. I would undoubtedly do that. We're now climbing a hill. That car's squashed. This Alfa might look like that in a sec. The sound out of the exhaust. I'm apparently going down here. Brakes are good. Just front wheels sort of slipped a little bit there. Wow, look at this. This looks like a nice road. Don't want to end up into that lorry. I'm back. I can't go back.
Then you have reached your destination.
I'm meant to be going back now, but I'm not going to because I don't feel like I've driven enough. So up this hill, the back end is really sketchy. It's telling me to turn around. So just ignore the sat nav. It's lethal. Whoa. So I need to summarise this video. I'm not in no way going back yet. I'm a bit disappointed about the roads, not because they've selected bad roads. That looks like a good road. Let's get up in front of this traffic quick. First gear is gonna, no, it's gonna be fine. Really careful on the throttle because it is a seriously powerful car. If I'm honest, I think a good way of me summarising this car, let me just get out in this junction. I do really feel like I just want to go and have more fun in it. Do you know that? I don't usually feel like that about a car. Well, I haven't felt like that for a long time. But it is just so fun. This car is absolutely bloody brilliant. Do you know that? It's absolutely brilliant, and I come here today with quite low expectations of this car, yeah, because I'm not a massive Alfa Romeo fan, if I'm honest, right? But that's quite a good thing, because I did come here with low expectations, and I thought, I'm not gonna like this car. That's kind of how I felt, and I don't really go into anywhere feeling like that, because I just feel so drawn to, is this car gonna go on? German cars, I'm not gonna lie, that's how I feel. But, let's go up here again. This car
have reached your destination.
is just so bloody good. It really is such a good car. It offers everything. It literally offers everything. It's good looking, it's obviously the 4-door saloon thing. I've got loads of space in here, which for me is quite an odd thing, or a rare thing. There's sheep there, we won't scare them. It sounds amazing, I'm not joking. Let me have a little listen again. Let's put it in race mode. That turns the traction control off, then we can hear her. Look, listen to this.
Reached your destination.
Back end is so lively. See, when you use that race mode, it does change the car. Oh my god! Do you know what? I'm going back out in it. I'm going back out in it. I don't want to go back yet. Sorry guys. It needs to just go for a little further drive. When you turn it into race mode, it really does change the way it drives. It loosens up, obviously there is no restrictions, it loosens up the throttle, so you've got like what you do with your foot, the car does exactly that, a bit like the steering, which is what you want when you're driving. When it's raining, Obviously you don't put traction down to the ground, but the wheels do slip as they should in reaction to your foot being on the pedal, if that makes sense. So there is sheet there, I'll try not to scare him. That's what you want. You want it to escape like that. You want a bit of slip, you want a bit of give, and you want the car to kind of do as it's told, and then you as a driver takes control of what's happening. Now, I am not, look. And when you put it in race mode, I'm going to leave the back windows open a touch. I don't want to kill us with wind noise. I'm going with that one. When you put it in race mode, the dials do change a little bit. You've got like a different visual here. It is so lively. See, I thought that by having it in that D mode, it would, I think it did take the traction control off. It blips as you drop the gear, sort of rev matching. So much drama and theatre with this car. I love it. But it obviously puts it in like an MDM mode, like what BMWs have. Back end escape in there. It is, I'm gonna have to close the back windows, but you get the idea. This is the sort of savageness that I'm looking for in a car. The sound, the looks, the overall drive, the finish quality, what more can I say? What? Back end. Oh. I am looking forward to getting back in a driver's seat of an M3, and for the first time getting in the driver's seat of a C63, but it's going to take a hell of a lot for either one of them cars to impress me more than this thing has, and that kind of says a lot about how I feel about this car. But an element of me does feel like, so I'm not going to sit here and say I really don't want to talk too highly about this car, and I've already done it, but an element of me does feel, it's not that I don't, sorry, the reason for that is because I don't want to come away from here today with a decision made. I want to keep an open mind on the other cars that I'm about to drive, and I think that's important. But there is an element for me with this car, even when you let off the throttle, it sort of goes, it's weird, credit to Alfa Romeo, they've done an amazing job with this car. But what I was going to say is, there is a part of me that feels like this just isn't me. But I came here today thinking, do you know what? I'm not going to let that affect my opinion of this car. And it fully hasn't, because I really, really like it. So I'm going to end it there. We are still in race mode, so I might light up the tyres a little bit on this 15-mile-an-hour driveway. But I've had great fun today, so thanks very much to the Fiat Chrysler Alfa Romeo group for inviting me down for the day. I'm going to go enjoy some free lunch now, because that's available to me. I'm going to make the most of that as well. But I've had a brilliant day. Let me know your thoughts on the Alfa. Like, the strange thing is, let me just quickly touch on something before you go. I look at a lot of reviews online, and in every bloody video of this car that I've watched, everyone talks so highly of it. And sometimes when you get into the driver's seat of a car, it does fully change your opinion of it. Now, being able to come down here today and being given the opportunity to drive it, because I've been sick of looking at videos. I've just looked at so many videos on YouTube of these cars, and everyone's like, yeah, this is great because of this and this and this. And bear in mind, I'd driven one and not been too impressed with it. I think you absolutely have to put it in race mode, because without race mode, it is really, like I said earlier, it's really laggy, it's really dull, it's really restricted, and it is quite a boring thing to drive. It's a very good quality car, but from a performance point of view, whilst it's not in race mode, it's quite a boring thing to drive. And I've come here today, I've put it in race mode. Obviously we've got wet roads and it isn't the perfect day, but I have had an immense amount of fun today. So I've loved it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio. Hell of a name. That's one thing I have got to say about it. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I'm going to end it here. I'm going to head back, chill out for a bit, and then go home. But thank you very much for watching. Have I got to go this way or that way? This way. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, obviously do hit that like button, and if you're new, hit subscribe. I upload every Wednesday and Sunday around sort of 6 o'clock-ish. And I'll see ya in the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, alright? Bye. In the next episode of Diary of a Car Trader, whilst I was there, I thought, you know what? I need to take out the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio. This is the most savage SUV I've ever driven.